Good morning. Hey guys, this is Damon Nolan. It is day 15 of the 8-week hardcore trainer from Cage Muscle. Right now I'm sitting in the car, as you can see, sitting outside of work, taking a few minutes before my work day begins. And it's Monday, which means that it's weigh-in day. And so I can give you a report. As a matter of fact, it looked like, I think last week when I weighed in, it was 246.4 is where I weighed in last week. And it was 247 today, which means I actually gained a percentage of some pounds. How do I feel about that? Well, I can tell you that I don't feel that bad. I mean, I wish the number would have gone down, but I'm gonna tell you what else I also do. So, not in addition to the scale, I also look in the mirror. I also pull out the tape measure. I also have fat calipers. Now, even as I say that, I probably need to take some pictures from week to week. But good news. So while the scale didn't actually go down since last week, I did notice, however, that the tape measure revealed some different things. So, for example, I noticed that while my waist, and of course I'm pointing to my waist right now, my stomach rather, which I have found is typically the last thing to go. If you look at my last transformation picture, you'll notice that my stomach, the middle section of, the area around my belly button, that whole area is the last to go. It's the first to get added, is the last place to go. So it didn't really move. But I found that my upper stomach, my chest, upper stomach, and even my waist and my hips, which I measure everything, have gone down. And what I found is that they have gone down somewhere between 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch in some cases. It just depends on where it is. So what I have found, and this is pretty much in alignment with where I was in my past transformation, is it feels like the weight is dropping from the upper part of my body, the upper part of my body first, followed by the middle part of my body, which is my waist and hips. Thighs stayed pretty much the same. My stomach stayed pretty much the same. My middle stomach, that all stayed the same. Arms stayed the same. Calves, I want to say even the calves went down a scotch. It wasn't a lot, but it was a little. So that just tells me that my distribution of fat is obviously in a lot of different places. So good news, the inches are dropping, the number, so that's a good sign. So I can't look at the scale entirely and say, oh my gosh, the scale's not dropping. I noticed that in between week 1 and week 2, there was a pretty substantial drop, which could be water weight, it could be any number of things. But I have noticed from week to week that the inches have continued to drop. Also, I noticed the body fat caliper went down a millimeter, from 19 millimeters down to 18 millimeters, and I'm using the AccuMeasure to measure that. Now, it is still the same body fat percentage. I think it's 22.8 or something along those lines. It didn't move in that regard. It just, the millimeter moved, but it was just a scotch. So, and And usually when I measure that, I'm measuring right smack dab in the middle of my stomach, right? So I say all that to say this, is that even if you're looking solely at the scale and you're saying, hey, maybe it's not moving, there are other things. If you're doing the right things, there are other things going on. And that's really what I wanted to drive home. One, I wanted to show you that there's been progress since last week. Two, to encourage you to say, hey, if you're doing the right things, you're eating the right things, you're following the plan, it's still working. You just got to look in different places to see where things are being adjusted. Okay. What else can we talk about this morning? There's two things else I wanted to talk about. Of course, this is when I need to remind myself to write some stuff down, but I just wanted to capture my thoughts real quick. Number two, organization. This is key. So one of the differences for today is we have gone from 25 minutes of cardio to 30 minutes of cardio, right? So week 3, we're going up 5 minutes every single week. What this means is, even though it's only 5 minutes, you're taking 5 minutes away from something else. So where, in the beginning it was 20 minutes, I got up in the morning, I found 20 minutes. Now, then I had to find 25 minutes, which is only 5 minutes more in the morning and in the evening. But it's just going to continue to eat up a little bit more time. And so every time I'm taking 5 minutes, I'm having to take it from something else. So key, be prepared, prepare your food. And again, I'm really speaking to myself, and a lot of this is prepare your food the night before, pack your gym bag the night before, set out your clothes the night before. I've had to readjust when I go to the gym. So before I started the transformation, I would go to the gym around 7, and and then I get home about 8:30, maybe a little bit later, depending on, the flow and traffic and so on and so forth. But in doing that, I realized that if I'm doing cardio twice a day, I'm going to have to get to bed earlier so I can get up earlier so I can do the cardio, which means I couldn't stay at the 7 o'clock workout time, because by the time I get home at 8:30, I really need to eat my final meal. And then you need to get to bed, or, and for me, I was doing my cardio right before bed. So what I ended up having to do is I had to move it from 7 o'clock to immediately after work, which means as soon as I get home by 5:30, I'm jumping to the gym. The benefit of that is I get it done earlier, which means I can then use some of this time that I had to, like I said, pack the bag, create meals, restock the supplements in little plastic containers. So I had those ready. And just preparing as much as you can the day before for the next day, so you're not rushing, trying to get everything done in the last minute. And I find that when I don't do that, everything is always rushing. And sometimes I don't even get certain things done. And so to really offset that, you got to organize yourself, prepare in advance, and then the other piece, obviously, is you got to make sure you're maximizing every minute that you're moving things forward. Because if you get lazy or you take too much of a break, you're putting yourself back. So that was sort of the big thing that I've taken from this experience today. Is I was rushing. So yesterday was Sunday, and of course I was pretty relaxed. I should have got everything ready. So this morning when I got up, I was doing what I did last week, which was getting everything ready this morning. And it took a little bit longer because I wanted to make sure I gave myself a haircut, and I did some other things, but some of those things I could have done yesterday. And hey, good morning. that was essentially some of the takeaways from today. Now, I can't record any video for the workout because Ghost Gym in Clayton doesn't actually allow videos or cameras or selfies or anything anymore. So I won't be able to show any videos, but I wanted to make sure that I got this part out this morning, or at least captured this, because these were the things that were on my mind, and just some little tips and tricks and thoughts that I had around day 15. So I may check back in later tonight based on you know, what the workout looks like and maybe my second set of cardio, but I wanted to kind of just capture this while I had a moment. Again, if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask those or post those below. I definitely want to say thank you, and hopefully this video or these videos are bringing some value to you if you're walking through the process. I do want to say thank you to those, again, who are chiming in. I'm getting some really good comments, messages from people who are saying, man, you know, this is really inspiring and this is motivating and encouraging. And I want to say thank you to you for sharing those. Again, if I can do this, so can you, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to make these videos, is so that you can hear some of the intimate details that maybe people don't talk about. You know, they just kind of show you the first picture, they show you the last picture, but they don't really show you the process of what it looks like as you're going through. So one of the things I valued very much from Kris was that he did those daily videos. And, you know, I found that for me, it works because I feel like I can, you know, relate to some of the things he's going through. And so maybe for me, to you, it is something very similar, is that, you know, hopefully some of the things that I'm talking about, you know, will bring value to you. So anyway, that's all I have for now. All right, guys. Woo! Day 15. That workout was grueling. Maybe I just got back to the car, got my re-cage in hand, and I'm just trying to cool down and catch my breath. Man, where do I begin? So I just wanted to catch my first thoughts, my initial thoughts immediately after that workout. I didn't want to wait until this evening. Day 15 was quads, calves, and abs. And in the video, Kris had a friend with him, and he went all out. And I don't know, they were being competitive or whatever, but they just kept going. And I think I was in there probably a good hour and a half, maybe a little longer. I just know it felt like forever. I was out of breath pretty much the majority of the workout. I mean, the quad exercises, beast. We did leg extensions, basically 50 leg extensions. So you did a drop set, 25, drop set, another 25. And then it did a pyramid where you basically just built up. And then we did, what else did we do after that? We did some other quad exercises that had a combination of some squats, some Bulgarian squat. You have to look at the plan, but I mean, my legs were done. And just when I thought I couldn't go anymore, I kept going. You know, I was out of breath, I was sweating. I mean, my shirt is drenched right now. Gasping for air. I was so through, about halfway done. And then they kept going. And at one point, I thought we were done. And so I went to do abs. And I realized after all of that we did for the quads, I still had calf raisers to do. 5 sets of 30. My legs are done. I know I'm gonna feel it tomorrow or Wednesday for sure. But I feel good. I feel good that it's over. I feel good that I was able to push through. I feel good right now, that a sense of accomplishment. Thank goodness for the in cage. That's the drink that I was having in between, because I needed every ounce of energy that I could find to keep pushing through. I got to the point where I was savoring a corner just for the very end of my calf exercises, because I needed everything to finish that. And even the abs, I mean, a giant set of abs, 3 different exercises back to back. But good thing we finished, and that's the thing. I know that I got a good aerobic workout. I got a good weight training workout done. I mean, if I don't burn some more fat this week, I don't know what is going to do it, because today alone was probably the most difficult that I've had since I started this workout. So 15 days in, he is not playing. So anyway, I don't mean to scare you. I don't mean to turn you off in any way. I just want you to know that Kris isn't playing. When he said hardcore trainer, he wasn't joking. And, the weight, it doesn't even matter about the weight. There was a couple of exercises when I was doing squats that I didn't even use a lot of weight. My legs were getting a workout with very little. The Bulgarian squat, I didn't even use any weight. That's how bad it was. And I had to do pause, rest, pause so many times to get through that exercise. My legs were burning. But we finished. And that's the key. We finished. We put our mind to it. We finished. So, I will say that I love, again, Kris's a variety of exercises. I love that, you don't know, as well as your muscles don't know what you're going to be doing next. Shocking those muscles. And then it's pushing us to the limit to find out what we're made of. And then to keep pushing through is a test of your endurance and how bad you want it. As I'm sitting here, my ears are cloudy, slightly cloudy. But I feel great. Tired, but great. So I just wanted to share that with you. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, it's over. It's over. Accomplishment Monday done. And for that, I'm very happy. So anyway, I'm going to finish up my recage, and then I'm going to go home and then do another 30 minutes of cardio. So that is done. And I may check in with you in a few. All right.